How do we elicit information out of people without them knowing?
So look, I think we get predominantly criticized for privacy, which I find falsely focused. I don't think there's any privacy erosion in Flock.
First, notice that Garrett Langley isn't nervous, but irritated. He thinks privacy critics are wrong and dumb. But this is important because people don't disclose secrets when they're scared. They do when they're annoyed or they want to prove a point.
I think Flock puts a spotlight on trust issues. And so I'll give you a good example.
And by the way, the Flock cameras are all in public spaces.
Yeah. And it's
so whatever you're doing in public,
road.
somebody probably has a phone and is really invading your privacy.
Next, the interviewer is finishing his arguments for him. The cameras are all in public spaces. Somebody's phone is invading your privacy. This builds rapport and signals that Langley's opinion is reinforced in this discussion, in this environment. So this shifts Langley subconsciously from talking to the public to a friend who agrees with him. Lastly, the interviewer used a leading statement, where you don't ask a question, but steer the conversations toward the topic you're eliciting information on, and then let the so-called expert prove their point. This is how they went from roads and cameras to the phone that is in your pocket.
Is to say, the ironic part is when we do get criticisms from people that are less familiar with technology, I laugh because I'm like, do you realize if the federal government wanted to find you, a license plate reader is the dumbest way to do it. I will just get a cell phone dump.
Yeah.
Notice the repeated yes. These are unique. In interrogations, we call these continuers, which is what the interviewer is doing. They're small emotional rewards that keep the subject talking about what you're wanting to elicit. You'll notice the rewards are also timed to topic escalation, rewarding when the subject reveals more personal bias.
Yeah.
And I will know your exact location in real time at all times.
By the way, which is what they do.
Yes, but it's way more effective.
Langley upgraded the neutral statement of the interviewer and had to apply his personal expert bias as the owner of the largest dynamic surveillance network in the US. And in upgrading it, he told us something he's never disclosed publicly. Flock safety enables tracking you through your phone, and it's even better than their cameras. Watch this.
One is you can see it. All right, so I bet you if we pulled up your iPhone and we looked at the number of apps that you've given full-time local location services, it would shock both of us. And then if we looked at the number of data brokers who then leverage that data to sell you ads, we'd be really shocked. And I think if we rewinded 30 years ago and said, imagine these private companies tracked your location in real time and sold that to advertisers, we'd be like, that is unacceptable. But because we can't see it, we kind of let it go.
This is the same subject, and he actually leaks information about how his company helps track you. This is the beginning of his deception towards the audience.
And I guess the thing you can do is you can know that a cell phone's in a car because you can...
We don't touch that, but the law enforcement can.
Sorry, law enforcement can cross-reference cell phone location with...
Notice that. Law enforcement and warrants.
What were all this? So they knew that the vehicle was in a certain parking lot.
Yep.
They can then use, they have to have a warrant at this point.
Sure.
They have a warrant to pull.
He's deflecting and steering the conversation to police and warrant-based phone tracking, while his company focuses on warrantless phone tracking through the location data sold by the ads you receive on your phone. He also raises his speech cadence and states that we don't touch that, but law enforcement can. Now, Langley is signaling he's subconsciously uncomfortable by interrupting the interviewer when talking about tracking a phone in a car.
And then start to build the case. But to your question, I'd say the current phenomena that is causing a ton of problem domestically is drones.
Okay, he just used a technique called paltering, which is making statements that are true to create an impression that's false. There's more than one way to track a phone. He knows this, and he's betting that the audience is too dumb to know it too. He finished by deflecting from this conversation, which he's uncomfortable in, towards drones. Now, he's never publicly stated that Flock Safety developed a tool that helps track your phone's location through warrantless methods, but these context essentially says it for him. Now, he leaked this because of what we call the mosaic effect. It's tiles. One tile is his knowledge of license plate readers. The other is his knowledge that phone tracking needs a warrant. And the third, knowing the method of tracking phones that bypasses that warrant requirement. Separately, the tiles are innocent, but together shows he has knowledge on a subject that isn't pertinent to a company selling license plate readers on public roads. I'm also one of the top cybersecurity researchers on Flock Safety, and I've compromised our system 4 unique times. So here's the exact source code allowing it, and I'll explicitly say it for them. Additionally, to prevent them claiming it wasn't used in production, here's the domains this code worked for, one of which is for production. It says a lot about the ethics of a company when the founder just spent 2 minutes calling the ad broker location method villainous. while trying to deceive you, the person affected, by saying that his company doesn't touch phone tracking.